So, welcome to Empowering Chats with Susan Burrell. And I'm very excited because I have known this woman I'm about to speak with for a few years. I think you guys are going to be fascinated with our conversation because she is an animal communicator. I got chills. She's an animal communicator. I want to welcome LeeAnna Lorefice. LeeAnna, thanks for being here.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah. So, you guys, LeeAnna has been working with my two dogs, Macy and Buster, for well, and prior to with my dog Chief, before he crossed over. And she's been such a gift, especially when Buster came into the mix, because we needed to know how he was going to fit in with the family. So, LeeAnna, let's talk about how your gift developed and why you decided to just focus on animals.
Well, it's always been there. Being able to understand animals and communicate with them. I'm very in touch. I grew up very in touch with nature and so much with, plants and gardening and animals. It's kind of harkens back to my upbringing. My parents were very much homesteaders and my mom's very connected to nature. So I was brought up in that way. So I've always kind of had this. I was always bringing, stray animals home and rescuing birds and things, and it was always there, like a knowing of what they needed. And I didn't realize that not everyone had that gift. I just thought, oh well, people understand their pets, right? They know what they need. They understand, and it was kind of I didn't realize I was on another level.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took a friend of mine pointing out to me one time when I was speaking to her dog, that just letting her know what he likes and doesn't like, and just different things. And she just kind of encouraged me to explore this a little more, saying that not everyone can do that. So maybe that's something you should look at doing. So this came, later on in life, actually, that I actually realized it was something. So I started kind of honing my gift. I took some courses and really kind of locked in and decided to just do that, to just start doing it. I did do intuitive readings for people in that because I'm very much an intuitive person, and but then with the animals, there's just such a need. Everyone wants to know what their animals need or what's going on, and that's it. Kind of just went from there, but it was just very interesting how it. I didn't realize for a lot of time that that was something that not everyone has.
Right.
So I thought I should do something with this and I should hone this, this beautiful gift that I've been given. So,
I am so glad you did. Now, I don't know if you remember, but you came to me, a friend of mine recommended you. Her name
mhm.
is Kelly Mays,
Mhm.
way back when.
Yes, she's still a very valued client of mine, and she
Yeah.
was one of the first people that I started doing readings for in a professional sense, like and so we go back to day with her. I go back to day one with her. Really,
Yeah. And
she was one of the first people.
I
Yeah,
remember she found you because her dog, one of her dogs had gotten lost.
her cat.
Oh, her cat. And she
Yeah,
couldn't find him.
yeah.
And then when she checked in with you, you were able to guide her to where the cat was, which was a gift for her.
Yeah, they ended up reuniting again, which was one of the few very beautiful lost pet stories. I did lost pets for a really long time. It's extremely emotionally taxing.
I can
Um,
imagine.
yeah, and I don't really do it much anymore. I'll do it on a special occurrence or whatever, if it's a friend or someone I know, because it's just so taxing. And a lot of times, the pet parents, it's not always good news. It's almost not always good news. There's very few. So Kelly was one of the first, um and one of the few that had a great happy ending. So I love that story, that she has this beautiful, it was just, yeah, it reinforced why I'm doing what I'm doing. But yeah, the emotional toll on lost pets is a lot.
Yeah.
And I like to give good news. I like to have a very it's just a difficult energy to navigate, that's for sure.
Yeah. And now,
Yeah.
so this brings up a question for me. when you're doing a reading on animals, an animal,
Mhm.
are you also reading the pet parents? Are you like to kind of like in between? Are you in between both of that, or is it when you go in, you're just with the animal?
So what happens is I am with just with the animal and the animal's perception of what's going on. You know, it's their perspective. But I do and I have and I let this come freely when necessary. I let when I'm locked into my sessions, I always leave that door, that energetic door open, that if my intuition or spirit needs to guide me in a certain way, that I'm open for those things. And I do have and have had in the past intuitive pings that come across to say, you need to open this door for this person or mention this to them. With regard to anything. I mean, I think you and I have had a session recently when we were talking about cosmic things. You know,
Yeah.
I had a really strong intuitive ping to let you know, and it was also for Buster's benefit too, because we're trying to connect the dots as to the behavior that was going on, and
Yes.
it came down to kind of solar activity, right? And
Yes.
so that was a very intuitive ping that came through strongly. So I just trust that I need to relay this, and I just go ahead with that. So I do make stops and kind of put aside what the animal is saying for a second because I know that my intuition is telling me that this needs to be relayed. Yeah.
Well, and in Buster's case, you guys, I have a 3-year-old Aussie healer, and he's very, very active, very and very smart. I've had like in my adult life, I've had 4 Shelties and then Buster. And he's the smartest dog of all of them. And Shelties are very smart. But he was having the shakes for like 3 or 4 evenings in a row. He would just shake uncontrollably, absolutely scared or nervous out of his mind. And so I contacted LeeAnna and she checked in with him. And during the reading with Buster, she that's what she's referring to is we were having a series of solar flares hitting the planet, and dog and that's where I figured I learned, LeeAnna, from you that of course animals are more sensitive to that stuff than we are. They
Hmm.
hear on a different level, a different frequency, and
Hmm.
and I wasn't feeling the solar flares. I have in the past, but for some reason it wasn't
Hmm.
on my radar. So when you said that, I was like, oh my gosh. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to be more consciously aware when those events occur, which, they
Hmm.
seem to be happening all the time right now.
Hmm.
But
It's funny because I was thinking back of when that intuitive ping kind of came across during the session because I remember him saying to me, I don't know what it's feeling like, but it feel the energy. And he kept showing me that it was coming to him in pulses and waves, this energy that had him all kind of discombobulated.
yeah,
And he kept saying, it feels like how the energy feels before there's an earthquake, but there's no earthquake, and it just keeps going on, and then it will stop, and then it ebbs and flows, and this went on for days. And so he was anticipating something energy like an earthquake, but just didn't happen, and he was confused. And so I was trying to figure that out, and that's when the intuitive ping came through, was like, oh, let's mention this has been a big thing lately. And
yeah,
so that really came through then, because I was having trouble getting to the bottom of what was going on because he wasn't even sure.
yeah,
So that was almost like spirit was kind of stepping in to kind of guide us in that direction. So that's what I mean about staying open, because that
yeah,
just allows more clarity to come through when needed, which we did need it at the time because I was very confused what was going on
yeah. I remember.
too. Mhm.
I could hear it in your voice. So you guys, LeeAnna records her sessions, which is fabulous because um, early on when Buster was adjusting to being in our household and Macy was adjusting to him and all that stuff, I could go back and re-listen to the recording and say, oh gosh, yes, that I have to remember to watch that with both of them or with one of them so that I could help assist the friendship developing or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, so would you share like one of your one a story about a family and the animals and the parents where it really was exciting to hear and find what the animal's purpose was, because animals often
Like
need.
their sole purpose, you mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Yeah, because if you want to get into that, yeah, that every animal that us humans come in contact with throughout our human life, there's all a soul contract there that is all contracted before we come. Before we come to the planet, we're
right,
also everything's soul contracted. So it's not random. It's not, oh, we just happened to find this cat and this dog. Or it's just so weird how this unfolded. It was all divinely orchestrated, right? So
right,
so every animal, there's no mistake that they came into your life for a reason. And it's all pre-orchestrated, like it's done before we all come. And they have lessons they want to teach, they have lessons they want to learn. We're all here to evolve. It's just part of the package of being able to experience, um, have our souls experience the 3D reality that we're in, right?
right.
So it's really interesting to look at that in that context, that all the animals that come to us are here to help us in our evolution in some way, shape, or form, to teach us lessons and stuff. And I say that a lot with clients that have, um, I'm going to say, animals that have behavioral issues that are just, I don't understand, and they're very frustrated and they're trying to figure out what's going on. And a lot of times it's because they're trying to teach something like patience and understanding and all of these different things that they aren't necessarily getting in other parts of their life. So the animal comes for that.
Yeah,
Um, it's super interesting. So there are a few clients that I've had that have that are for that reason, that they've come to teach them patience and unconditional love through, contrast,
right,
and that, also a lot of them, and this has been a really big theme lately with my sessions, is there are a few different animals have been saying to their parents is, I'm here to bring you into the present moment. You're too much in the future. You're living in the past. You're living in the future. You're missing it. You're missing the time. And so, especially there's a couple of them that are in their senior years, and I've been doing regular sessions with them as they approach their transition. And they're just saying, you need to be not worrying about what else you can do and what else. This is unfolding all how it needs to. They
wow,
plan to come and they've already planned their departure. So they're
wow,
already they're already very much at peace with when they depart.
wow,
And so, yeah, so that's what happens is they're very much just asking them, can you just please be in the moment with me? All the days and weeks and months or years I have left, let's make the most of them together. And don't worry about, I didn't do this or I should be doing that. And just being in the future about all the other things, because they want to be here with you now.
yeah,
I think that's a big purpose of our animals that are with us in our life, is just to bring us into the moment, because our human brain is always living for what's happening tomorrow, what already happened. We're really have a hard time as humans in this 3D reality to be in the moment, at the moment, right? So
yes,
I think that's a very strong theme lately, but it's a strong theme always, I think, is that they always want to just bring us into the moment so we can be with them. Yeah.
yeah, which
Hmm.
is why, you know, I know that there's people that absolutely love their animals and they live and work in a big city, and they live in an apartment, and the animal's stuck in an apartment all day while they're at work, and stuff like that. And now I'm just being opinionated, Leanne. I tend to do that. But, I often feel for the animal, because then they spend like half of their life waiting for their people to come home so they can be with them, instead of, I don't know that they were intended to be alone. Especially dogs. They're such pack
Hmm.
animals.
Hmm.
They need to
Hmm.
be with their people.
That's your compassionate heart
Oh,
speaking. Hmm.
thanks.
Yeah, I have it too. Yeah. Yeah. And you think that, however, when you go back to the soul contract, they know this. They come in knowing this. They
Oh,
know when
God
they're
bless them.
coming. They know what's going on. They're there for a reason. And a lot of times, and I mean, think about how emotionally supportive your animals are for you. After a hard day and they just love you unconditionally, they don't care what happened to you during the day, and you can just be with them. And that could be what their purpose is for that person. And they're given maybe some beautiful enrichment while they're in their environment, or they, you know, they are able to get out. When they enjoy it even more. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So no judgment on anybody that doesn't have
A
the
backyard.
yard and all the things, but yeah, working for enrichment. And I get that a lot sometimes in my sessions too with animals that they suggest, I need this. I need this. I'd be so much more happier. Or if there's behavioral issues a lot, it's like I got too much pent up energy. I need to go and move my body. I need to do something. So I need a walk or some playtime. So they do very much voice that when they need it.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
happened when I contacted you about Buster because I thought he was slinking around and slinking out of my office and into my office, and I was like, what is going on? So I was thinking he was scared, but when you communicated with him, he said, "No, I'm trying to get her to follow me so she gets up out of that room and goes outside. She needs to be outside."
Yeah.
And you were so helpful by suggesting to him, well, why don't you just go up and bump her and she'll start paying attention to that. And I
Yeah.
do. If he comes in, if I've been sitting in my at my desk for 3 or 4 hours, which I can do, he'll come in and bump me, or he'll start kind of not whining, but making a noise. And all of a sudden I'll come out of whatever I'm working on, and I really make an effort to get up right away and go outside with him, you know? And
Yeah.
then he's like,
Yeah.
okay, now I'm going to bring you every stick in the yard and you can tell me if I can chew on it, you
That's
know?
right.
And so
Present moment.
right. And you've got to stay here because I have so many sticks I want you to look at, you know?
Mhm.
It was so helpful when I heard you say that. Um, because I don't see him slinking anymore. He comes in and he knows he's got a purpose and he
Yeah.
knows how to let me know. And he's
Yeah.
also become,
And he knows you understand it now
yeah, yeah,
because he knows that I pass that all on to you. That's another thing I tell my animals too. When we talk, I said, we're going to be passing this all on to your parents. So everything we talk about, they're going to know. So please speak up because now's the time, you know?
yeah. And it's so amazing. And because of that shift in our interaction, Buster and mine, I started paying more attention to what he was trying to say to me. It's almost like LeeAnna, it's almost like I could hear, in a way, I can hear some of what he's saying now. And because I've been a type 1 diabetic for over 30 years. And if I'm not feeling good, he'll come and if I go lay down for to take a nap or something, he'll come and just lay on me to make sure
Mhm.
I'm okay. Or if I'm working and he'll come and check on me. How are you? Are you eating? Did you eat? And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh gosh, I didn't eat. You know, so
Yeah.
I'm listening
Mhm.
more to him.
Yeah, it's a deepening of a connection. You've
Really it
deepened your
is.
connection now, and that's what I tell my clients too. Is everyone can communicate with their animal to a degree, right? And it's just how deep you want to go with your bond is what you're getting. And you get these random thoughts in your head, like, "Oh, have I eaten?" It's him.
Right.
He's putting that out there. You've opened your energy to be able to receive his messages more easily because you've deepened your bond over the years. And so now he's really finding the flow now with being able
Yeah.
to speak with you, and that way he's less intense with his messaging now too. You
Yes.
probably
Yeah.
see that he's more
Yeah.
calm with how he gets your attention and when he comes, and there's this flow you feel in your mind. Yeah, that's beautiful. That's so beautiful. And this is a confirmation of why I do what I'm doing right
Oh,
now,
and
because it's just so rewarding to hear these beautiful stories and feedback from people and how they've learned to talk to their animal too, and they understand them, and it's so beautiful. Yeah.
there was another time I want to share with you, with everybody,
Okay.
that
Yeah.
LeeAnna helped us because our Sheltie Macy, when she came to us, she was 3 months old. Well, first of all, my previous dog, Commander, came to me in a dream and said, I'm coming. I'm coming. You have to find me. You have to find me. And all of a sudden, I saw another Sheltie, coloring very similar in my mind. And but it took me 3 months to find her. And when we finally found her, she was all, we wanted a girl and we wanted to call her Macy, Macey, which is how my current spouse spells his last name. So when I found her online, I was like, oh my God, that's the dog. And she had to come across country. And when we got her, she was emaciated. She was, I mean, in hindsight, I can see she had suffered some kind of trauma and brutality at the puppy place. And so she started eating rocks because we were feeding her according to our senior dog schedule, not her. So the vet said, let her eat as much as she wants all the time. Well, she developed IBS. It's a poor thing. I mean, and I remember I had to take her to the hospital. She was so sick. And she had to stay a couple of days. And I reached out to you and LeeAnna, you guys, LeeAnna was so compassionate. She said, I'll go visit Macy if it's okay. And so energetically, you went to be with Macy because we couldn't be there with her and we didn't want her alone, but you did that for us. And it was such a gift.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm
It
so
was such a
glad.
gift. And you could,
I do remember that.
and
She
you
was
let
very
us know
happy
that
to
she
know
was
you were coming
okay.
back. She
Yeah.
didn't know if you were coming back for her. That was,
Yeah.
I remember that she was thinking, "Oh my gosh, I'm here forever." And so it was really impeding her recovery, which does happen, especially when they're not settled into their home and they know that's their forever home and they didn't come from the best of circumstance, that sometimes just letting them know they're coming back for you. They're
Yeah.
coming. You just have to be there for
Yeah.
now, but they're coming back and they love you. And so I think that meant a lot to her.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I
it
think
meant
it
a
really
lot to
helped her
us
recovery. Yeah.
because
Yeah. I'm so glad that
we
helped.
were
Yeah.
both worried about her and she recovered just fine, everybody. She's just fine. She's as vivacious and bossy as ever. But she really is, right? Um,
Yeah.
so
Mm. I'm not sure, but I'm got you're frozen on my end here. Oh, oh, okay.